Hello guys, my name is Raza Masood. Today we will discuss about the topic working capital. I'm sure that you have heard about this topic working capital, and in many meetings or in discussions you have definitely heard about this topic, which is basically working capital. So what is basically a working capital and how we use it, and what is basically the main definition of working capital. So in this topic, in this tutorial, we will discuss in detail about the topic working capital and how we can calculate the working capital. So we will see in this video. So first of all, I would request to please subscribe to this channel and also click on the bell option. So let's start. Working capital is basically, friend, is basically the amount of money the company has available to invest, including investing in projects. This is called the working capital. Working capital means the amount which you have in your hand, which you can invest. This is called the working capital. uh, let's say, for example, this term refers to an organization's current assets minus its current liabilities. Friend, the amount which you can invest to start a business, to initiate a project, this is called the working capital. The amount which is in your hand, which you can invest in a project, this is called the working capital. But remember one thing, whenever you have to invest something, you just remember one thing, you should also consider the liabilities as well. Liabilities means, for example, you have to give some loan to some person, you have to give the rent of the place at which your company is opened, so you have to you have to give the credit amount. So all these types of the liabilities you must have to consider, and you have to minus these liabilities from the asset. Then you can consider, then you can calculate the working capital. Friend, remember one thing, the formula of working capital to calculate working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. If you minus the current liabilities from the current asset, then you can calculate the working capital amount. Friend, let me give you an example of working capital. For example, you have $5,000 in your bank account, okay, uh, and you have to invest somewhere, so you have to calculate the working capital. But remember one thing, that $1,000 is the amount which is basically a loan which you have to give in this month to your friend. So, and $500 is the rent amount of your company at the place of your company. So the thing is that you have to minus the $1,000, which is basically a liability or loan, and the $500, which is basically rent of your place. So $1,500 you have to minus from your $5,000 asset. So this will become the working capital. Remember one thing, you can't say that this is the total asset is basically your working capital. This is not true. You have to minus the liabilities. Liabilities means anything which you have to give to someone, for example a loan, a rent, the credit cards amount. So all these sorts of things are basically liabilities. So you have to minus the liabilities from the asset amount, then the working capital came. The you can't say that if you have $5,000 in your account, bank account, so this is your working capital. This is not true. Working capital will always be calculated from minus, from you have to minus the liabilities from the asset, then only you can calculate the working capital. And working capital is basically, this is the amount has which is basically available, which you can invest. So the amount which is in your hand, this is called the working capital. Remember one thing, always remember the working capital means this is the amount which you can invest, and to calculate the working capital you have always to current asset minus current liabilities. You have to use this formula to calculate the working capital. So friend, remember one thing: in the PMP exam you may see reference of working capital. So in the PMP exam, or you just remember the concept of working capital. Whenever we talk about project selection methodologies and the to initiate some project, so to these sorts of projects, to these sorts of questions, you may see some reference or some topic, some questions related to working capital, but not specific to working capital, but you may see a term working capital in the PMP exam, in the exam questions. So as a friend, just friend, remember one thing, that you should have an idea and concept of working capital, that what is basically a working capital. Working capital is basically the amount which you can invest, and to calculate working capital you have to minus liabilities from the asset to calculate the working capital. So as a project manager, as a project management, you should have the knowledge and concept of working capital, that what is basically a working capital and how we can calculate the working capital, and what is basically the usability, and what is basically the concept of working capital. So as a project management, as a project manager, you should have the concept of working capital. And if you are going to give an exam of PMP, just remember that the question will not directly on a specific, will not come to, will not come to for the working capital. But whenever we talk about project selection methodologies and etc., you will definitely see this term working capital in the exam, in the questions and or multiple choice options. You will definitely see this term working capital. So you should have an idea of, or you should have a basic concept of working capital, and that what is basically a working capital and how we are using it, how we are calculating it. So maybe this is very difficult, that you may see the main specific question related to working capital, but you will see in the exam a reference or term in the exam. So friend, and that's all from my side. I hope you like this video. I have tried my level best to explain the concept of working capital in a very easy manner, to give you an idea and concept of working capital. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell option, and also please share it with your friends and colleagues, and also do comment on this video what you like and what you don't like. If you have any question, please do ask from me. I would love to answer your queries. So thank you, thanks a lot for your time, and thanks a lot, thank you for watching this video, and thank you.